impressive.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. This is the New Year's edition with my good friends Willie Walls and the great Swame Odell Blocker. Happy New Year, guys. Wish you both a very happy and healthy 2025. I hope you guys have the best year yet. Willie, how are your holidays?
It was great. That's anytime you get a chance to spend time with family and watch games and eat. You know, all that other kind of stuff. It was really good. I mean, but really just realize, you know, there are people that are out there hungry that does not have a chance to experience that. So just think about how grateful you need to be that you're in that position to do it. So I don't take nothing for granted. I'm very grateful for all that stuff.
Absolutely. Swami, how was yours?
It was great, Doc, and that was well said, Will, even though you're the Grinch that keeps stealing my Christmas every Sunday. But well, let's put that behind us. It's a new year, Doc. And with
this is your year, Swami. I feel it. It's your year.
Filled with promise, Doc.
All right, it's week 18, and this is an interesting week because a lot of guys are out. A lot of guys are being benched for, precautionary reasons. So when you guys play, before we even get started, will you, let's just say out of 100% of your budget, how much will you spend this week, Willie?
Half. I mean, because I am not this slate. Anything can happen, and because our time is about to come, playoffs, and we ain't worrying about no shenanigans. None of that stuff. So I'm talking about half of what I normally do. I mean, that's what I'm going to do.
What about you, Swami? What are you doing?
Doc, I'm from the sniper division of Dr. Roto, where I don't play a lot of lineups, Doc. It's usually one or two shots that we want to hit center mass. So I'll probably do the same thing. I told Willie, I said this might be a good week to maybe play a few more of the $3 20 max games or something like that, only because I'm thinking there's a couple of teams that aren't in the playoffs or aren't necessarily, I'm doing air quotes, playing for anything that I think I want to take that ride with them. Again, we're going to get into it, but I think, teams like Colts, Jaguars with that game might look like it'll be fun to play this week. And so I want to stay open to that, even though the rule is that we want to play teams that's playing.
But on FanDuel, we got a whole new rule. FanDuel is the minimum of 4 people from that last game that's going to be in that lineup that we're going to be playing. So that's
if you can afford it. But yes, I agree with you. I think
you can afford it.
You almost have to have the Lions-Vikings game. I mean, there's no choices, right?
You can afford it. I got one where I got 4 or 5 of them, and you put in, and you got 2 good backs for Gibbs. And Swami, I looked at it about Gibbs. Listen, locked in for every lineup, and the reason being is, I looked at it, 160 yards, combined yards that he had in the last game, and that's what Montgomery was there. And Minnesota, shockingly, has been giving up yards against the back. They gave up 2 touchdowns to Green Bay. They gave up 155 yards to Atlanta. Even that Joe dude, who's doo-doo from San Francisco, got over 100 yards against him. So I am playing Mr. Gibbs, and his price should be $10,000 on FanDuel. But it's not. He should be priced like what they used to do for the back for San Francisco.
All right, so let's just stay here for a second. Let's just lead with the best game, right? If people are only watching a little of the show, let's just lead with the best game. Willie, you said 5 guys, 4 or 5 guys. I mean, 4 is a necessity. I think Goff or Darnold is a necessity on FanDuel, without question.
Absolutely.
Now, you mentioned Gibbs. After that, there's a lot of good plays. St. Brown is a good play. Jameson is a good play. Jefferson is a good play. Addison is a good play. Hawkinson and Laporta are good plays. How are you figuring out your lineups?
Well, number one is I want people that has a possibility for 2 touchdowns. I think Addison and Jefferson can get 2 touchdowns. If you look at the teams from the last 4 games, The worst team gets getting up 0.59 points, per play. Detroit has been giving up in the last 4 games 0.7 yards, over 7 yards. Trumping that. You got to understand. Look at that San Francisco game. Besides, him making a couple of mistakes, it was open in that game. You saw what Ricky Pearsall did. Listen, these dudes went at it. Jefferson has averaged in the last 4 games in Detroit 730 yards. Listen, this guy plays more man to man than anybody. He plays his last 3 weeks over 50. So he said, look, I'm going to get you and you're going to get me. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to get him. Because I'm just telling you, you leave Jefferson out there by himself. Jefferson's got 2 touchdowns this game. I'm telling you.
How do you answer my question? Because I think it's a fair question. How do you get Gibbs, Jefferson? How do you get the fourth one? How do you get the fourth one in?
Okay, let me go to my. I'm glad you asked me that question, Doc. I'll be happy to share. Okay, I have one. What I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got. Okay, I'll be happy to share. And this lineup will make a lot of sense if you. So in this one lineup right here. Okay, now I had Gainwell in there, but now Shipley is going to be the guy that's going to play.
Did they say that?
They said he should be coming out of concussion protocol. Shipley.
Okay, so give me your lineup.
Well, right now,
you care. I mean, you don't have to give me everything. Give me,
Well, I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna just give you this lineup. This is when I had Gainwell in there, but you could switch it to somebody else because also you got people like Corum that's going to be available to play. You got Carter that's going to be available, so you could put any of these guys in this position. But I have Darnold, Gainwell, Gibbs, McMillan. I like McMillan better than Evans going to be on Evans, but McMillan he's been getting his too. Jefferson, Mr. Mims for Denver, who's been balling out. Laporta and Addison in the flex. And I had the Giants defense going against Philadelphia's backups.
All right, so there you go. Okay. So Laporta and Addison and Jefferson and Gibbs.
Right. And then in another lineup that I had, I just did too. I did Donald Shipley, Irvin. And remember, you could switch it over. I did Donald Shipley, Irvin, Jefferson, Williams for Detroit, McMillan, Laporta, Gibbs, and I had to go down to the Saints defense. But point being is, you can do different things to make things happen in these lineups. That's how it's flexible. And I just think that in this game, you're going to need it. And then you could do it the other way where I agree with Swame when you go over the other receiver that's been killing them for Detroit, So you can switch this around, but this game is going to be electric. I guarantee you that. And one thing that I will say is both of these teams could score. They've scored 60 points in the first game, and this is before Detroit lost all their players.
So, Swami, let me ask a question, and this is a strategic question. I don't do this enough, but maybe it's a smart idea. Do you ever play 3 guys on the same offense? Like, could I have Gibbs, St. Brown, and Jameson or Laporta, and then bring it back with Addison or Hawkinson? Do you ever do like a 3-in-1 plus the quarterback, or is that too much?
My luck isn't that good, Doc. Only Walls and my uncle have that kind of luck. I don't even know how they get through the airport at this point without TSA stopping them and doing a cavity search. Pause. So I'll say this, Doc. Too often when we feel like we got it, just like last week, right? We had the nuts going at 1 o'clock to only have the Green Bay Packers kick us in them at 4. And so it is some cause for pause, even though I think this game is going to be a great game. The last 4, I want to say Detroit has gone over 30. So that means that they are consistently able to move the ball against the Vikings. So I'm not mad at that. And I don't think that, based on all those injuries, that Detroit's going to stop them. So I think I like this one a little bit more. I think both teams are playing better than and we won't see what we saw last week. But with that being said, Doc, I'm still not certain about playing so much of my salary that I'm throwing in somebody like Mims. Walls is a huge fan of Mims. He's like what he's been doing. Doc, every time I even think about it, I almost throw up. I cannot. And Mims with the Saints defense, Doc, no way. As Walls would say, I'd rather have one of those venereal situations.
Hey, but let me say this about Mr. Mims, and I'm just looking at his stuff. he's been more involved. I mean, in 3 of the last 4 games, he's got, over 50 yards in the. I mean, just look at it. He's been coming on, and they've been involved from him. And I think and on DraftKings at 4,600.
It's not. I don't disagree. I like you. I watched the film. We watched the game together. I saw what Mills has been doing. So they were playing from behind. Those games had a different type of game. I don't think Kansas City, without them playing their guys, it's that kind of game, and that's why I don't like them.
That game last week, if you remember the Bengals and Broncos, they weren't doing anything. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the third quarter, the game exploded, right? It needed to get pushed. And then when it pushed, Nixon, Burrow wearing it out. Right. But against the Chiefs, Swami, I don't disagree with you. There's going to be Carson Wentz is not pushing anything.
No, this is a different type of explosion here, Doc.
Yeah, exactly. This is like Montezuma's revenge. Exactly.
But I'm just saying, at that price point at 4,600, they get them involved, and I just think they could get some big plays especially when Kansas City playing their reserves.
All right, let me ask a question because I don't know whether we need to go game by game here because this is a lot of crap games. Maybe we'll just look at positions and stuff today. I want to talk about 2 players who are expensive who should be in the mix, but we have to decide what to do. First, Swami. Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is in a great spot and a must-win game, but are you going to be able to pay for him? Now, on DraftKings, I think we are, but on FanDuel, you have to choose between Gibbs and Bijan. No. How are you approaching Bijan on both sites?
Man, Walls went back and forth. He kept me up much longer than what we should have been up last night. But, Doc, I felt like, and I think we agreed that on FanDuel, it feels like this might be a 3 running back type of situation. We talked about that being a possibility, even though obviously St. Brown and Jefferson would take up some cap. But then we saw that, hey, it's some value at running back. So it might make sense to play 2 of those value guys because we still think they can do well, especially Carter. He's already been involved in the last couple of games when Carter's gone out. He's already been in the mix, not getting a full load, but still looking decent out of the backfield and, in the backfield. So you figure, hey, he could have a Connor type performance.
What's his price on FanDuel? Who?
Bijan is 80.
No.
9,200.
Carter.
Well, Carter, I think he was. I just had it up.
Let me see. I think it was 56.
Oh, that's perfect. I had him for Gainwell. That's my guy. Mr. Carter. That's it.
He's
just be careful with Carter.
I'm just saying.
He's 5,800.
Oh, damn. A bastard. A little bit too much. But see, Doc, what I'm saying is on these type of games, on these last games, you got to take shots.
Oh, no, I agree with you. You have to take shots. And no, I don't dislike Carter at all. I just think the touchdown equity, I wonder, is he on? I would play him on DraftKings before I'd play him on FanDuel. Because on a FanDuel, I don't know if he scores.
Right.
DraftKings, he's good.
Yeah, I just think that, the guy that I'm locking in and, it's really, on FanDuel, it'll be Gibbs and my man Bucky. Bucky is
the question was about Bijan.
I cannot take him over Gibbs though.
How about on DraftKings?
You can play Bijan on DraftKings. All
right, let me give you another one. Mike Evans. I know you said McMillan, but Evans 5 catches for 85 yards gets this dude $3 million. You telling me that Baker Mayfield is not going to find him that football?
Oh, absolutely. But I also think that if a team any worth, you will try to sum. I say he could get his, but after he get his and they lead, McMillan could be still in the game getting stuff while Evans is sipping on, wine and drinks after he get his stuff he got. I'm not saying that. I love Evans, but McMillan.
No, they still need this game, sir. They can't.
But what I'm saying to you is on the way I'm taking it, because I pride towards this game, especially on FanDuel. I will be playing some Evans on DraftKings, but on FanDuel I can't get to him. I go with McMillan.
I'm not mad with Evans, and I like that stack a lot. If for this week, which is Baker Mayfield, and you pick the 2 guys that you like to go with him, and Mike Evans is, especially in a situation with incentives on the line, I think is a good bet. And that last time when they put up 50, I think they could put up 50 again this week.
So let's talk incentives for a second, okay? I'm just throwing out incentives. Geno Smith gets 186 yards. He gets $2 million against a Rams defense that stinks because they're not playing people. Swami, is Geno Smith in your equation?
Hell no. But I mean, not just no, Doc. But I think he's going to get to 200 yards. But it just
So
Vegas has him at 247 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm just saying.
I will put him at 247 and 1. I'm not mad at that. But I just don't. 2 is like the most he's done all year. I guess we're saying if the game isn't competitive and they just letting him throw it, maybe. I think he can get there. But is that tournament worthy, Doc? 245 and 2.
All right, Willie, what about Cortland Sutton, who needs 82 yards for $500K? You mentioned Mims, but Cortland Sutton was going to get paid.
He's going to get
$500K. I mean, that's all right. I mean, it's Cortland Sutton. I'm not. Listen, I think both could eat, but I just like, for me, I won't be getting the Sutton. I'll be getting more to Mrs. Sims because I like him. They get him the ball and running. They do different things with him. They got special plays for him.
Okay,
that's all. I
like Sutton, Doc. I think Sutton's probably the guy we'll go with over Sutton.
I do too. What about Tony Pollard? If he even plays, he needs 83 yards. It's like 83 yards and 2 touchdowns.
No,
he'll
no one needs that. I'm a put an asterisk next to him, Doc. But I am not a fan of Mr. Pollard right now.
He'll be playing with himself.
All right, I'm going to give you a few more guys. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1 touchdown gets him $250,000. He's in that game against Tampa, Swami. It's going to be $4,000 on DraftKings.
Did Carr wrap his hand up? Was he out?
He's out. He's out.
His shot was Carr. I just don't know what this. I think they'll try to get it to him if they get close. But if he do, Doc, that's all he'll have. He'll have 40 yards and touchdown tops.
Willie, what about DeAndre Hopkins? 1 touchdown gets him $500K.
So
he
ain't gonna be playing in one lineup for me.
He'll get that, Doc. He'll get that on a fade and be out the game the rest of the way.
All right, now let me give you the other 2 guys who I think are really important. Neighbors and Brock Bowers. Bowers is 4 receptions ahead of Neighbors. Neighbors is 2 behind that rookie record. Do you think either of these guys are worth the money on either site, Willie?
I don't mind them because I don't mind because I heard Arizona's playing their guys, and so if you want to get, because the tight end is really crappy if you look at the tight end. So if you want to play Bowers and you got extra salary that you're paying down on the other side, I don't mind that. I mean, I don't mind Bowers, but I mean, I don't think I'm getting to him, but I understand why people are getting there. So now, especially now, listen, if Pittsburgh loses, then I damn sure ain't playing because San Diego plays the Raiders, right?
Los Angeles plays the Raiders.
Yeah, they play the Raiders. So if Pittsburgh loses, I damn sure ain't playing ball because I just think the Raiders are going to be. I mean, Los Angeles is going to be trying to kick their ass, and I like a lot of. I like then I will be getting on Herbert and those guys because they would need that game so they can play Houston instead of playing the Ravens in the first round.
Swami, Neighbors, and Bowers, are you in or out?
Not all the way out. I may got 1 foot out. I'm doing a hokey pokey there only because, that Drew Lock game, even though it was very interesting, it can't even bring that back. And I don't know. I think they might try to get Neighbors the ball. And then with Bowers, it's just his price that makes him very difficult to kind of get in the lineup, but not mad at him.
Last week, and look, Neighbors helped me win 2 championships last week. Okay,
me too.
Championships last week. I can't, but I mean, he got 2 touchdowns on bad tackling by the Colts.
Yeah,
I mean, that was not. He should have been stopped twice. I mean, so all right, let's focus a little bit here on quarterback now. Where are we going, Willie? Let's start with you. You mentioned Justin Herbert. Are you going cheaper? Are you going Joe Flacco, who should have this may be his last game ever? Mac the Knife Jones. You playing Josh Dobbs at 4,000? What are you doing, Baker Mayfield?
Listen, if I play Dobbs, I'm playing Jennings because they were roommates in college, and when he got in the game for a little bit, he was looking for Jennings already. So I think they got a little connection there. I'm not mad at that. And he's 4,000, and he runs the ball. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at that if you're trying to pay up in other positions. Okay. Then I like Matt Jones. I like him. I like him a lot, man. And listen, and that receiver that they have, whew, he won a couple of championships for me too. Love him. Listen, he is a monster. He is going to be like a Chase Jr. You know, that's the way I.
Will you go up to Baker or not that high?
I will in the lineups if I want to do the quad stack. If I want to do Bucky, Baker, McMillan, and Evans. You know what I mean? If I'm going all in, because if they score, like Swame said, 50 points, a lot of those points will be going to be going to those guys right there. So I'm not mad at that. I might have a lot. It won't be a core of it, but it could be something that you could do just to stack it to get all the points that you can get from that. So I'm not mad at Baker. Listen, Baker earned my respect. All this year, Baker's been balling. He has been. Go ahead.
Swame, Baker, Flacco, Dobbs. Where are you looking?
Doc, I got my script here, and it got some Walls. Hell no, not hell, but hell no. What the hell is Walls talking about? Has he been drinking? I haven't been able to use any of this stuff yet, so maybe it's coming in the second half. But so far, Walls is not necessarily over the line, Doc. But I will say this: you're saying the guys that I like. I think I want Daniel, Mayfield, Flacco, and I think outside of that, I know I said the last couple of weeks taking a chance on it for somebody who I think it should be his last game. No, it's not Flacco. It is Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And if he is,
but Miami cares about this game, don't they?
They do.
They
do because they're dependent on if Denver loses, Miami could get in, and
right.
that's the thing. So they both playing at the same time.
So that's what I was going to say. As Walls would say, so I bet Miami kid about those other 8 they lost as well. I don't know if I would be scared because Miami came to play. And I think the last time he played them, he had 339 yards against them.
I just rather play Roy Rogers, to be honest.
Can I give you another guy that nobody's thinking about? Kansas City's pass defense is not great. Would we play Bo Nix in a must-win game?
Not mad at Nix.
Yeah, because he'd throw it to Mims. But let's say this. You could look at the other side too. If Kansas City going to be, throwing this game away, they could be whooping their ass at the halftime, and he goes sips on some Gatorade in the third quarter, or he shuts it down.
Right. It's not. That's why the beauty of the FanDuel game is the Goff Darnold. That game is not getting shut down.
Right. That game is going to play. That's what I'm saying. So even though I get it for the other people, but it has the most points than any game there, and I'm just saying. And you've seen them already play, and this is when Detroit's defense was pretty good.
Can we agree with what Permar just wrote there?
Yes.
Oh, if Pitt loses, absolutely.
If Pitt loses, Herbert's a must.
Absolutely, he's one of my guys. But I do like Jaden too. Do not sleep on Jaden.
Why do you like Jaden Daniels, and why would you pay for that?
Because they need this game. If they lose. If they lose, they will be playing somebody like Philly. They playing one of those type of people instead of playing Tampa Bay. Or
I don't want to play Tampa Bay either.
I will play Tampa over Philly or one of those other teams like that, or possibly Minnesota or somebody. If they lose, they play one of those teams. I'm just telling you.
So Daniels is in play. All right, so now let's go to running back because this is where the value is. The value is clearly at running back. We mentioned Michael Carter, right? We mentioned Blake Corum. Who are some of the other Alexander Madison? I'm going to give you a couple of guys. Just stop me anywhere along the way. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Oh, hell
he's
no.
4,100. Is he in play?
No.
Why not?
They couldn't run it with the guys ahead of him.
Good point. But he can catch, can't he? I'm just looking at the price. Ty Johnson, Josh Jacobs, too expensive. Jaleel McLaughlin, or you guys, are you in on Madison?
No.
So your tunnel vision on Carter, Bijan, and
I wouldn't quite put Carter in there. I would say Robinson, Irvin.
Irvin is a lot.
We talked about the A-chain until, we started to kind of talk about that quarterback and what's going on with them. We said maybe we want to stay away from that. I think JT could be interested if you want to pay up and you had some interest in that game. I think you could also look at maybe 49ers, maybe
Garendo.
Garendo's a hell of a play.
And
why do you like Garendo, Willie?
I think because San Francisco's run the ball. I like it's not a bad matchup, and even I don't mind Charbonnet.
Zach Charbonnet.
Yeah, but my favorite guy would be if Pittsburgh loses Dobbins. I will lock Dobbins in.
By the way, Dobbins' incentive is I think he needs 58 yards.
But I would lock Dobbins in if Pittsburgh loses because they would need the game.
What about Blake Corum?
He's a man of interest.
Agreed.
Can I give you my cheap bastard play at running back?
Who?
Ray Davis. New England is horrific against the run. And James Cook is not touching that football. This is a Ray Davis game. Now, the problem with Ray Davis is he's going to catch the football and he needs to score. I think he may be a better play on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings because he may not catch enough, but on FanDuel I think he scores.
I'm not mad at him, but the only thing about him is what are they going to do for they're going to be playing their second string lineman too, though, right?
Yeah, but there's only so many second string guys you can have, right? There's only 7 inactive guys. Yeah. So it's not like you can bench your offensive line.
Yeah.
You do it.
I'm not mad at Ray Davis.
You're going to bench Josh Allen. You're going to bench James Cook. You're going to bench, Shakir maybe, and then you're going to bench a couple guys on defense.
He should be getting reps, but he needs all the reps he can get. Maybe Kincaid. I don't know if I should get anyway. But I also want to say, Doc, I feel like Buffalo has been playing maybe 3 and 4 backs at times, and so
Ty Johnson.
Yeah, when they come to these type of situations, that's why I was telling Willie about Gainwell. Those guys who are part of the offense, they might not see as many reps either. Right, I think it may be whoever is behind them that might.
That's why Michael Carter is interesting, and that's why. And look, you guys hate his guts, but Edwards-Helaire at 4,100, they're going to give him 100 touches the football.
I don't hate it, Doc. It's 100 touches for 100 for 1 yard.
Right, so he gets 100 points. All right, let's get to wide receiver. We mentioned some of these guys before. Let's take a look. We mentioned Brian Thomas.
Yes.
You mentioned Jawad Jennings, who I think is going to be really highly rostered. What about the cheap guys on Kansas City? The Jujus and the Justin Watsons. Do those guys get reps because they're dirt cheap?
Juju is more like doo-doo. I can't listen. He won't be smelling up my lineup. I don't have a place for Mr. Juju.
What about the Rams receivers like Atwell and Tyler Johnson? What about Dallas's guy Cavante Turpin? I'm just throwing out names.
Yeah, they got too many. The Rams, I can't play none of them because they can play 5 or 6. They got 5 or 6 of those cheap bastards running around. So, I can't.
One of those guys may score. One of those guys may even have a decent game. But Willie will pull the rest of his mullet out trying to play those guys. It's just if they haven't done anything all year, then they talk about playing with the backup quarterback, the backup offense. It's hard to get behind that guy.
It is. It's very hard to get behind that. So what about? Let me give you another guy. What about a Jalen Coker?
Now
I didn't fool him all year. I'm a yield to Willie.
I'm not mad at Coker. That's not a bad shot.
He's not mad at you either.
Yeah. might be maybe somebody I would consider if you that game and you needed that Adam. I might consider him in that game because I think he's scrapping, but his price has been creeping up. And
well, that game is 48 points, right? It's the highest scoring game on the slate by a ton. So, that's why maybe a Coker, because you got to think maybe Thielen is wrapping it up.
He missed a few games. I think he's playing well. They got something going. I just feel like because those teams that caught a little bit of momentum at the end, I think they might continue to play. Like even the 49ers showed us that they were playing hard. You got teams that are out there scrapping. That's why we like Brian Thomas, because we think they got a little something going. I think they want to kind of keep going and play one more game going into next year.
That's a really good. I think the Mac Jones to Brian Thomas stack is interesting.
I like it. I like that a lot. And that means what you can do is you can get your Irvins, your Bucky Irvin, you get him in there, you get
your Bijan.
Yeah, your Bijan if you want to play him. You could get those guys in there, and that's how you and then hey, you play three backs and you go with Carter. Go with Carter Jr. because listen, you're trying to find ways to take down the tournament. But I love and playing Matt, I understand. Tom, he's probably my favorite receiver on the slate.
Who?
Even over Evans. I know everybody's going to be on Evans.
Who's your favorite receiver, Thomas?
Yeah, I think he's my favorite receiver on the slate, on DraftKings slate. I just think that game environment will remind me a little bit of the Detroit, Minnesota environment in terms of people scoring, and I think Flacco's going to try to do his little lap because I think it's probably his last year. So somebody like a Downs, who can, maybe.
Well, what about a Flacco, Downs, Pittman, Thomas?
I wouldn't because of Tampa Bay. I would not use all three of those positions.
I'm not mad at that. I think I need Pierce in there for Downs. I'm not mad at Downs though, but Pierce seems to be that deep threat. I think he hit a couple big ones the first time they played last week. Him and Flacco look like Montana to Rice. So I feel like I want to maybe look at Mr. Pierce in that one. I'm not mad at it, Willie, because we also will be able to afford to get some of those other pieces that we like in there.
Yeah. Well, you're the Pierce whisperer. You always do. I told you
Pittman last week, and y'all saw Mr. Pittman Swame.
Let me give you a name that the guy crapped the bed last week. Terry McLaurin. Could he emerge? If you like Daniel so much, Zacchaeus, Atlanta was basically double covering McLaurin and basically saying to Zacchaeus, catch the ball. Dallas has nobody. Is McLaurin a man of interest?
If you play in Daniels, I think I would have to play in what was Scary Terry. I'm not mad at Zacchaeus for one of them, but you had to double stack. But Daniels is a man of interest this week. I wouldn't say you couldn't play him naked. I just wouldn't want to.
Well, listen, let me say this. Because you saw what he did with Dallas the first time they played him. And Daniels, he just got that it factor. Because when I look at his team, I told this to Swame, I said, look, we need a stud receiver. We need a stud running back. We need a stud lineman. But he makes everybody better. And this Zacchaeus guy has been I've been playing him the last couple of weeks. He's been very interesting the last week. He really has vibed what he's done. He has done what we expected Noah Brown to do.
But don't forget Mr. Ertz, who had 25 last week, and over the last 5 weeks, he's probably had 4 or 5 really decent games.
By the way, if he goes 9 for 90 and 2 touchdowns, he gets $750,000.
And that's I like Ertz, and if you're gonna play it is Mac, it's Scary Terry, Jaden, and Ertz.
All right, let's take a look at tight end here, guys. We mentioned Brock Bowers before, but that's only if you really want to pay up for that. You said Trey McBride is going to play a lot. We've mentioned Ertz. Heat is in there mentioning Noah Fant. Is this a pay up week or is this a pay way down week, Swame?
It's going to be tough to pay up and get some of these pieces in that we're talking about. So for that reason, I'm going to say pay down. And the folks that I feel like somewhere around, Jonnu and down. And then that would include Okongwu, and Ertz. And then after that, you're going to start taking chances when you talk about guys like Conklin, Henry, Strange. But I was on Kittle until I saw that Brock wasn't going to make it. Right, it looks like he's not going to play, which means as much as Walls like Dobbs, no thank you. I wouldn't bet the farm week 18 on him.
Willie, what are you thinking about tight end?
I think the guy that got my interest. I think Kraft is interesting for Green Bay. Kraft, yeah. I think he's interesting, and a guy that I'm thinking about if you really want to pay down would be Peyton Hendershot for Kansas City. If you really want to do something, if you really want to maximize your running backs, maximize your receivers, you're basically punting the position. Listen, I know what we feel about the quarterback for Kansas City. He's not terrible. He's not like Cleveland kind of quarterback. And I think I
don't think you can play any Kansas City Chief. And I'm telling you why. There's too many. I can name you 4 receivers. Justin Ross, this guy Nico Ramigo.
No, I said tight end.
No, I didn't even get there yet. Right? Now you have Hopkins who's trying to get paid. You got Noah Gray. Why are they going to bench Noah Gray? They're not going to bench Noah Gray. You got Henderson. You got so many guys there. Good luck deciding who's going to get it.
Yeah. I'm just saying, listen, I'm willing to take a 0 in a lineup, and then you might get lucky and get a touchdown from him. And if you got all the nuts in all the other positions, like if you got Bucky, you got Bijan, and you got this person, a receiver, you got that. Sometimes it's worth taking that shot. Now, I'm not saying that, but I'm gonna live down in the range of 3,700.
How many times has a 0 taken down a tournament?
The 0 times? The
defense rest. Thanks, Doc.
Oh, it has. Somebody took down a tournament with a 0.
In baseball, maybe.
This guy's.
In baseball, I don't care if my catcher gets me a 0 if my first baseman gets 3 home runs that game. But all right, Swame, give me your cheap bastard play of the week.
I had some thoughts of playing, I think, Carter, who I still think kind of fits firmly within that cheap bastard realm. I didn't want to go too far off the beaten path because it's that risk of folks sitting out, even in some of those other games that we mentioned, like how hard are the Packers going to go? Can we predetermine how the Chargers and Steelers scenarios are going to play out? And then because once you kind of commit to one of these cheap bastards, it's not like you can change your mind and go with somebody else. You're not going to have money. You got to change your roster. So I think I want to say Carter is the one that I'm liking the most right now. I had some outside interest in maybe a New England wide receiver who I won't mention here, who did okay the last time they played. Only because I feel like they've been playing with a little grit, but I'm gonna stick with Carter.
Willie, who's your cheap bastard player?
I like Corum. I think Corum is interesting for the Rams, and then also I think this will be the exact time to try to do that because Pearsall looked good.
He did.
It looked good, so I don't mind having a little
captain spot.
Huh?
I said I had him in the captain spot.
Yeah, so I don't mind Mr. Pearsall. So I think that he'll be a manager, and I just think to overthink it. Listen, Zacchaeus and Jayden got a thing going. Zacchaeus has been very involved, and at 4,500, he's not a bad shot.
I'm going to give you my cheap bastard correlated play. I love the Josh Downs play. I love it because I think people will not look at him this week because they looked at him last week and he let them down. And I'm going to bring it back with my cheap bastard play of the week, Brenton Strange. Because remember, Strange was disgusting last week, but he was playing Tennessee, who's one of the best teams against opposing tight ends. Now you're playing Indianapolis, who's one of the worst teams against opposing tight ends. Really bad.
How much is Strange?
3,500?
I'm not mad. I mentioned him, Doc. I'm not mad at Strange. I think him, Thomas, and they come back with any one of the guys that we like becomes very interesting.
I agree with that. If you could go Mac, Thomas, Strange, maybe a Downs, and then fill it out with everybody that we like, you might be onto something there. All right, Willie, here's $100 bill. Give me the stack.
Oh, the stack is going to be. Listen, listen. I'm not overthinking this. Now, if we're talking, I give you a FanDuel stack,
sure,
and I give you a DraftKings stack. Okay, sure. And I don't care because it's about this is who we think is going to win this game. I like give me Bucky, give me Bucky. Give me McMillan. Give me the quarterback for Tampa Bay. And then you run it back with the guy that you talked about who Swame can't stand.
Coker.
Mr. Coker. Because I for some reason, Mr. Coker's been showing up. I mean, so I'm just saying. You know, I like Mr. Coker. And it will be different because I don't have Evans in the lineup. I'm playing the two guys, and I'm playing Mr. Coker, and there's no Evans in there.
I'm on FanDuel. You just going Lions or Vikings?
Listen, I'm just telling you. My this is my first thing that I came up with, and I'll tell you this: my stack is you can play either quarterback, but you go with. Let me get my lineup here. Let me just start instead of me saying and talking out the side of my neck. Give me Mr. Donald, give me Mr. Gibbs. Give me Mr. Jefferson, give me Mr. Laporta, and give me Mr. Addison.
Pretty good. All right, Swami, what's your stack?
Hold on, Doc. I got a call coming in. Hello?
Is it Tyrone?
No, it's my grandmother. Hey, Grandma. Yeah. What you said you got Willie stack too? Oh, and that's something. Okay. And you have fun at bingo. All right, Grandma. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Grandma's a little degenerate. I love it.
Okay. Hey, first of all,
Grandma,
first of all, McMillan and no Evans is a totally contrarian stack, sir. Get that. Especially running with Mr. Coker.
My grandmother agrees. So, Doc, I think the stack that I like, and we already kind of talked about it, I hinted to it. I didn't know Pierce was all the way back last week, and I wish I would have because it would have been real interesting. But I think I want to go on Flacco's last ride. Let's take Pittman. Let's take Pierce, not mad at Downs, and bring it back with Thomas. And we're going to put the rest stuff we like. We're looking to take something down. You're not looking to play these games, these guys we hope get a catch. We're looking to take something down.
I like that one because I think Mac Jones and Flacco has nothing to worry about. And Mac Jones is playing for a job somewhere. Yeah. I mean, could Mac be a starter somewhere next year? I think he probably could be.
And Flacco has a slim chance of playing one more year, Doc. He doesn't look horrible.
Right.
Like, there's some guys out here who got Flacco's agent on the phone. He said, these jokers backing up. Oh, you call each one of those teams.
All the Green Bay backups, they're terrible.
I'll tell you this.
Cleveland backups, terrible.
If the Colts lose this game, Shane Steichen could get fired.
That was a bad couple of losses.
Bad.
Yeah, it was a bad couple.
I'm trying to think of my stack. I mean, I don't want to get chalky because I feel like it's super chalky here. I'm with you on the Jacksonville-Indianapolis game. All right, let me give you one ridiculous stack. I will give you the ridiculous stack of the week. Could I go Aiden O'Connell, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers? Especially if the Chargers have nothing, if Pittsburgh wins? Could I do that?
That could be interesting, Doc.
Because that dude's playing for a job next year too.
Yeah.
And I don't love it. I like the other game. So I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but
I was telling Walls, I said that as much as we're saying playoffs, and the folks who got something to play for, people are playing for their jobs, careers. Right. That's not motivating. I don't know what is. Everybody's not coming back next year. So somebody got to play.
Hey, you talking like one of in those Japanese movies. Your mouth is moving before you talk.
It's a Chinese karate movie.
Yeah.
On purpose. I did that intentionally.
All right.
Not moving.
Balls to Walls call from Willie Walls. What you got, my friend?
Listen, my guy, that I am going to go with, and I will have him in. I will have him in most of my lineups, and it's going to be. And this is over Evans. This is over everybody. I'm talking about, and it's not a balls to the walls call. This is what I think he's going to be in the winning lineup. So can we say that on this one?
Sure.
This guy's going to be in the winning lineup. It's going to be Bucky Irvin, because Bucky Irvin did not get what he deserved last week in terms of he got sniped twice at the goal line. So I think Bucky might get 2 to 3 touchdowns in this game.
Wow. All right. That's ballsy. Ballsy. 1 touchdown's not ballsy, but 2?
I'm talking about 2 because he got sniped twice at the goal line when he just threw it to Evans. So I think Evans could get it. I want Evans to get that deep one early, get his ass out the way, and let Bucky, because Bucky has run his ass off. And Bucky is a lock in every lineup that I have on FanDuel as well as DraftKings, period.
All right. Swami says, what you got?
My grandmother's texting, Doc. She said, Bucky Irvin. She said, is this big rascal joking? Said, is he kidding? She said, I don't know what she meant by this, but she just asked, was he kidding? Anyway, Doc, I know last week I gave us Mr. Pitt. And I was very interested in the game that you said, the game that Wall said. So I think this week, I think I'm gonna stick with this Colts game, Doc. But I already kind of gave it up, so I don't want to do that. I feel like I've already kind of tipped my hand with the Colts game, so I want to give you something else here. I think a man of interest this week. Somebody nobody's looking at. Maybe a Drake London, Doc.
I like that.
You a Drake London.
I like Drake London a lot. I think he's going to be overlooked because Drake London is fantastic leverage off the Bijan play. It's fantastic leverage.
I think it could be interesting.
Right? And I think you have to play that way this week because people are going to be donkeys this week, right? They are. But Drake London, nobody's going to play Drake London because everybody's playing Bijan Robinson.
And they might focus some on Bijan and say, hey, Penix is going to have to beat us. He's going to have to show us he can throw the ball because he missed a lot of throws.
He did.
Not sharp. So that could come into play as well. And I thought long and hard about it, even though the Colts game is the game that I like. And I would probably, if I wouldn't have said it last week, I would have went with either Pittman or Pierce. But I'd already gave that up. So I wanted to give something else.
I'll tell you. Go ahead. I'm just saying, if Pittsburgh loses that game, I'm all on Dobbins. In every
right,
lineup.
no, it changes it. Right, I agree.
In every lineup. And that, people, remember, you got to get ready to pivot. Know your playoff scenarios so you can pivot. If a certain thing happened, you have to go the other way.
And I wouldn't be mad at Ladd as well. He feels
absolutely both.
Oh, yeah, Ladd's fantastic.
Both. McConkey, yes.
And don't laugh. You're going to laugh at this. Quentin Johnston might be in a little in play. Guy always seems to make a weird play. And Will Dissly's back. I don't love him, but I mean, everybody's in play for the Chargers. Everybody's
absolutely agreed.
All right, my guy on fan. I've given all these plays out already. I like Brian Thomas. I like Josh Downs. I like Brenton Strange. I like Ray Davis on FanDuel. I can't get past Ray Davis on FanDuel. New England is terrible against the run, and I know this is ridiculous, but I can't get past Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I can't get past it, and I know I should get past it because the dude sucks. I mean, literally. He's not cheeks, he's buns. But at 4,100, nobody's going to play him. Nobody's going to play him. His mother wouldn't even play him. Swami's grandma wouldn't even play him.
She said no. She just texted me.
Right. She's like, I'm a degenerate, and I still wouldn't play this guy. But, 4,100, he's going to play.
All I can tell you. And then I really don't like playing veteran guys with nothing to play for.
Look, my point is I'm not playing Michael Carter. I will not have Michael Carter in one lineup. I won't.
I'm not mad at that, Doc. I still think he's a cheap.
I will play that bastard over Hilaire any day.
I take him over Clyde. If nothing else, because at least I think the Cardinals will be out there trying to move the ball.
Matter of fact, I might take chlamydia over that bastard. I'm not sure. It's a close.
You get back to me on that one. Let me know how that works out for you, Willie.
Hey, Doc, I think he needs to get out his copay.
Yeah, women really love that. Yeah, exactly. Call my office for an appointment. Okay? It's going to be very popular in DC. Willie Walls with chlamydia. All right. So there you have it. Now, guys, we back next week for playoffs?
Yes, absolutely.
All right,
because that's going to be 7. It's going to be 7 games.
That's a good slate.
And the Monday night game, and I'm playing that all 7 thing. I like that. Yeah. You know, I'm playing.
I prefer the all 7 than the
I love that. I mean, the first week of it's going to be so good.
Swame, you chopping it up? You're going to chop it into 3?
I'm the each one. Walls will tell you he's the multi-slate. All he do is play the last game. So that's all he gonna do, and then come up there and take all the money. That's how it is.
All right. Well, we wish you all the best of luck. We hope that somebody takes down and becomes a millionaire. For Doc, Swame, and Willie Walls, what do we say? Be well and
take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.